Scrambler 1200 to a Bonnie T100 from 2009. Have I made the right decision? Welcome back to the lovely woods here in the Surrey Hills, and welcome back to the T100. Now, in the last episode, when we picked up the T100 from Bulldog Triumph, there's a link in the corner if you haven't seen that yet, I promised you a first ride, and unfortunately we were cruelly cut short by the great British springtime weather. It absolutely bucketed down, so we had to run home. And you join me now about 7 days later, and it's not a first ride because I've actually spent the last week tootling around on this thing, commuting in and out of London, loading it up with kit, enjoying a couple of nice rides, and when the sun does come out, like today. So this is more of a short-term review. I'll give you all of my first impressions, whether I regret selling the Scrambler and buying this. And also, I'm going to give you an insight into the real nitty-gritty finances of why, and whether I regret the decision or not. I've just been bit by a mosquito right now, which is great. So maybe summer is here, the mosquitoes are out. So without further ado, let's get on the bike. I'm going to go for a quick ride. I'm going to fill you in and show you what it's like. Let's go. It really is a gorgeous day today. Now, those of you with good ears will probably be able to hear that I am pretty poorly. I've actually been sick for most of the week. So it's nice to be out in the fresh air, just for a quick blast on this. And look how good this thing looks. Oh my gosh. When it was listed up on Bulldog, they posted it on Instagram as like a new arrival. And I messaged them straight away and I was like, I don't know what it is, but I love it. Can you put it to one side for me while I sort out the Scrambler? And thanks to those guys for looking after it for quite a few weeks actually. And here we are, it's now mine. So let's go for a ride first. We'll stop somewhere nice and I'll give you a quick walk around. But here it is. Now, this couldn't be more different to the Scrambler. Ramble. So this is the 2009, which makes this the first year of fuel injection for the Bonnie. So no carbs to worry about, which is nice for an everyday runner. To be honest, I don't have a huge amount of experience with carburetors, so I don't want to be faffing. So fuel injection, and it couldn't be more different to the Scrambler, but also similar, weirdly. Of course, it's a parallel twin. Just turn around here before I get eaten by dogs. It's still a parallel twin, and it's got a similar vibe, similar engine feel, but it's the 865, so we're down on power. It's around 60 horsepower, although given that it's 15 years old now and it's done 25,000 miles, I'm not sure we're putting out that much, but it's lovely. It's got a great character to it. It's nice and talky, and it's got a great vibe. I mean, straight off the bat, you can see why Triumph really haven't changed much about the Bonneville in all its many years. And it's not because they're afraid of innovation. Just look at the Rocket, for example. It just makes sense. It works. And as soon as I sat on the bike at Bulldog, I was like, yeah, okay. Oh, I need to do it on my helmet, friends. It felt familiar. It's charming. And actually, for a 15-year-old bike, it doesn't feel like old and haggard. This has obviously been well looked after. A lot of the chrome is still proper shiny, even all the little bolts and stuff. So this hasn't been abused, it's been loved. Which this bike... So we've got an 865 parallel twin. I mean, it's all very standard Bonnie, to be honest with you. And it is quite charming in that way. You've got the analog clocks are back. We've got a real key. I don't know if you can see it down there. The key's in. I don't have to worry about the faff anymore. And it's a lovely riding position. It's super neutral. These bars definitely aren't stock, and I don't think I'm going to keep them, to be honest, because it kind of angles my wrists out a little bit, but they're pretty comfortable. I'm not going to be winning any races, but I really couldn't care less, to be honest. It's got plenty of poke, and I found in the last week, in and out of traffic, and example here, there's plenty of torque to be weaving in and out. And while it's got a heck of a lot of miles on it, this thing I'm sure will go for, I'm going to say this will go up to about 200k. Keep servicing it. I'm not going to start wiring until then, to be honest. As long as you maintain it, these engines are wicked. They're reliable. They're fun. One thing I have noticed is the fueling is definitely not as not as smooth as modern Bonnevilles. This is the first year of fuel injection. It might be that there's a bit of tweaking it can do to the map, but it also might be that it's cable throttle and they need to do a bit of adjustment there. It's not ride by wire, which is what I'm used to. So you get no modes, no switchable traction control. I don't think it even has traction control. It's simple. It's like back to basics, and that's exactly what I was looking for. Less faff. Love this road so much. If you're anywhere near the A3 in Surrey, come off at Oxshott, take the first exit, and then one of the first rights down Sandy Lane. Look at this. Oh, gorgeous. There's a connection that the bike, it's almost immediate. When I get to review lots of bikes, there's only a handful that are almost like extrovert with the characteristics, and I'll try and be a bit clearer. It's like you sit on a bike, and there's not that many bikes that I've ridden. I got a nod from a scooter, big ups. That kind of tell you what they're all about straight away. Some of them are just bland and uninspiring. I'm looking at the Enfield Scram 411. It just is generic motorcycle. Some of them take a little time to unfold and reveal themselves, like the Rocket. For me, it was just so smooth and like big. It took me about 200 miles on it to kind of start to understand it and like unpack what it likes, what it feels like, the way it responds to certain inputs and things. And that's probably down to me, to be honest, because I'm not like a seasoned track tester or road tester or whatever. But this Bonnie, and the same with the Interceptor that I have had up until last week, this Bonnie, you sit on it and it like tells you a story. And maybe it's the guy who had this before. You know, he's got these like flame embezzled Oxford grips, like the heated grips, which suck. They're so bad. Honestly, it's like having a hand held by a toddler. Just like mild temperature and a bit clammy. So they're coming straight off. Especially compared to the so good! So good! I might turn around. I might just do it. I might just go down that road. I love this road. I'm gonna turn around. Oh, I'm gonna explore. I'm gonna explore first, then I'm gonna turn around and come back. Now you can probably tell I've got a second mic near the exhaust. That exhaust note isn't stock. It's got some like slip-on end cans, and I'm hoping it's going to pick it up. But there's something that really annoys me. It has a lovely note. It's not very deep. It's quite like midi and punchy. When you let off the throttle, it whistles. Listen. Can you hear that? It sounds like I'm being chased by a pack of like starlings or something. So I'm going to address the exhaust. I think it could sound nicer. As I was saying, this bike, it has so much feel and character. And I think, and I don't want to get too like whimsical about it, but new bikes are new. They're like straight off factory floor, whatever. There is an element, I think, of riding a bike that's been loved and ridden and has 25,000 miles of exploration and adventure under its belt, or just like that evokes like a sense of feeling in the rider. And as soon as I sat on this bike and started it, I was like, yeah, 100%. I know what this is about. It's got a lovely little purr to it. When it idles, it's got that sound. Just going straight through reds now. One thing that slipped through the net of the quality control at Bulldog. This thing is, it's going to come straight off, yeah. I was moving the bike around when I got home and I pulled on the handlebar and the whole grip came off. So that's, these are coming off anyway, so I don't care. They just are not effective in any way. So if you want a set of Oxford heated grips that aren't great, leave a comment and I'll send them to you. You don't have to pay me, you can just have them, let me know. As long as you're in the UK. Yeah, weird. But this thing, it has a personality that I connected with straight away. Look at the brushed chrome. That would have been shiny out of the factory, and it's got so many stories to tell. These pinstripes are done by one guy at Hinckley, and they're hand drawn, they're hand painted, and here you can see the brush lines. In terms of ride, it's not dissimilar at all from the modern day Bonnies and similar type of bikes. It feels like it's got an ounce more poke than the Intercept 650. I wouldn't say it's dramatic. I think the only time I've really noticed it is on a dual carriageway in like fifth. It just feels like it's got a tiny bit more there, but to be honest, it's like marginal at best. But the ride feels great. The only thing that lets it down is the seat, where I can almost feel the outline of the man's bum who used to ride this. Like you sit down and you just soak into it. So I think I'm going to get a new seat, because even in about half an hour it starts to get a little uncomfortable, so that needs addressing. But other than that, the suspension's fine. Like it feels, it's not bad in any way. It's not as wallowy as the Royal Enfield. Yeah, it feels great. It feels like it's been well maintained. Braking is really good. I've genuinely been so surprised. Like you do have to give it a bit of it's a 3-finger pull to get some good braking action with the single disc up front. But the rear is really responsive. Poly apes, multiple layers of apes. Yeah, it's great, and it is testament to the quality of Triumph bikes. The fact that this is 15 years old, it's done quite a few miles, and it really stacks up to things that I've ridden from Hinckley with 500 miles on it. The like mod cons and refinements aren't there, but the fundamental experience is just as good. And I guess this brings me on to, I'm actually going to turn around because I want to go back to that road. Yo, mate, it's like Range Roverville. Whoa, still getting used to it. So that brings me quite nicely on to the finances. If you're a subscriber or you've watched my videos before, if you're not already, please do hit subscribe, because yeah, I'm loving the community we've got going here. Lots of people in the comments, and I've kind of told the story of why I got rid of the Scrambler, and I don't need to tell it again. You can go and check out the video. But financially, this has been a brilliant decision for me. I'm not afraid to tell you the numbers and probably how stupid I was. When I bought the Scrambler, I financed the entirety of it, so I had like no equity in the bike. And with the ridiculous insurance premium that I was given in November, or I had to take, you know, I was paying like 350 quid a month to run the bike, and that's before fuel and tax. I sold the bike for 9.5 grand with all of the mods on it, and I owed, I think, 7 on the loan. So I paid that off, and I put that residual 800 quid-ish straight into this. I'd saved a little bit of money to chuck into it as well, and I bought this for 4 grand. And I have about 1 grand on a credit card, which I've actually paid off already because I had an invoice get paid, so that's good. So I don't owe the bike anything now, and I've cleared an 8.5 grand debt, which was primarily, hello mate, all right, yeah, cheeky, love that, nice one. Which was the prime motivator, really. It was hanging over me and kind of spoiling the fun. And to be honest, I have 0 regrets. I've got some plans for this thing. I've ordered some bits on eBay in the meantime, just to kind of start the process a bit. And I've got some proper bargains. I'll show you in the next video. We're going to start doing bits and bobs. Because as much as I love the vibe, I think the vision I have for the bike is quite far off. I want to do like a desert sled build, something pretty chill, something true to its kind of character, true to the Bonnies of the 60s and 70s that became so famous. And I've actually picked up a few bits on eBay for a really good deal that I'm going to chuck on this. So next video we're going to lighten the bike quite significantly, but tastefully make some changes, which is going to be, I'm really excited about. I'm just going to shut up and ride for a sec. Jeez Louise. Anyone else struggling with pollen? You're welcome. This is what this bike is made for. Oh man. It's so at home here on these roads, like winding country roads. Even though it's such like a neutral position, and obviously with these bars, I just feel like, you know, I'm just pootling about. It engages and hooks up the corners so well. Oh, boo. It's so fun. Oh, I love it. So yeah, I do apologise if it's a bit rambly. I think coming out of like having the flu, my mind is just like running at 150%. So I hope you're tracking along with the video. It's pretty raw. It's not, I haven't scripted it or anything like I tend to do with reviews and stuff. But we're just hanging out. I do want to say a quick thank you to everyone who recommended bikes to check out. One of you did have a crystal ball and called it. And I'm sure you know I'm obviously a huge fan of the Triumph brand and the Bonnevilles. I've been open about that, and I did consider the W800, Kawasaki W800. Obviously I considered the Interceptor. Really, I for a long time I thought I was going to get an Interceptor, and I was really excited about it. But this thing just popped up, and it was one of them ones where I'm like, it's got something about it. So it stole my heart. And yeah, of course, I've gone for the T100. So congratulations to you. I've forgotten your name, but you called it. We're gonna make some mods. And thankfully for the T100, it's got so many options and parts because it's such a common bike to modify. Not going to be anything crazy. It's going to be pretty tasteful, I hope. I'm really excited, actually. Listen to the idle sound. I'm going to put the mic here, make sure it's on. Yeah, it's on. There you go. I'm so excited to own this bike, to see where the mod journey takes us and just to enjoy it. It's such a great machine. It's made so well. It's just fun to ride. Maybe in the depths of winter, I might think, oh, I could have done with a bit more protection or like heated grips or whatever. But yeah, it's a great bike. I'm super excited. And I hope you're all looking forward to following along the journey because the parts are in. We're doing some bits to it already, guys. So if you're not, do hit subscribe, follow along with what I do with the T100 and the adventures that we go on. Yeah, it's gonna be epic. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you called it and predicted it. So I hope you've all enjoyed the video. If you have, please do hit like, and if you're not already, hit subscribe. I'd love to have you join the community here. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. In the meantime, stay safe and I'll see you soon.